What's going on, everybody? Halo Drama here yet again with another Rewind Rumble reaction video. This one says Rewind Rumble bonus. Not sure what that means. Some bonus content, maybe something cut from something else I've never seen. I have no idea, but in any event, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I'm aware of him. He doesn't really exist. He's not canon, but that's just the nerd in me. But Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Darkspine Sonic. Darkspine. Before somebody checks me on that. Darkspine Sonic. I know who Sonic is. Who doesn't know who Sonic is? Very familiar with him. But Darkspine Sonic, that I'm not familiar with. I don't know what game that's from. Don't know its abilities. I don't know if it's a transformation. I got nothing on that. So I guess I have to root for Super Saiyan 4 Goku, even though he's not real. Yeah, I got nothing. Let's see what happens.
Goku and Sonic. They are characters known to many forms, from Super Sonic, Hypersonic, Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan God, and much more. These forms are mightily powerful, but this bonus battle is not to celebrate power, but to celebrate rarity and variety. If we hop to different timelines, one of the most rare forms of each character would have to be the Super Saiyan 4 and Darkspine forms. Will Darkspine Sonic snap Goku's spine, or will Super Saiyan 4 Goku turn Sonic into a raw pile of chili dogs? Today, we answer this question. Today, we rewind Rumble.
Raw chili is just
as stated, this is a bonus episode, so to learn about base Sonic and base Goku, there are tons of Cartoon Fight Club and even multiple Rewind Rumble episodes that feature these characters, so I will link the previous Sonic and Goku fights down below. Today we are mainly going to focus on Darkspine and SSJ4 forms. The origin of Darkspine comes from Sonic and the Secret Rings. Sonic finally helped his friend Shara and his assumed friend Dejin collect the Rings of Prayer, Sadness, Rage, Hatred, Joy, Pleasure, and Wishes. Sonic thought that he completed his task, but in reality, he got tricked by Dejin into unleashing Alf Layla Walayla, a beast who claimed that he would remake this world and this reality in his own image. Shara was able to lend Sonic some of the rings back to stand a fighting chance. The rings were split as Sonic had access to the world rings of Rage, Hatred, and Sadness. These rings turned Sonic indigo, made him aggressive, and he became Darkspine Sonic. As for the origin of SSJ4, we'll have to go back all the way to Goku's Great Ape origins, and I mean literally. The Super Saiyan 4 form in general can only be reached if a Saiyan can master and control the Golden Great Ape form. The Golden Great Ape form has many animalistic behaviors, but if the user can master that form and control it, you get the power of a Golden Great Ape with the intelligence and brain of a Saiyan. Now there are a lot of things that need to go right for you to reach this form for the very first time. One, there needs to be a full moon so you can become a Great Ape, and if you're on Earth, this is a roughly 1 in 30 chance of happening. Then, you need to turn into a Golden Great Ape, so you need to be someone who's been a regular Great Ape multiple times to be comfortable enough to power up and transform into a Super Saiyan equivalent of the Uzuru, becoming Golden Great Ape.
Let me stop that right there. I told y'all. Don't get me wrong, I'm well aware that GT's not canon. But I have seen it multiple times. None of what he said happened. Yes, you do have to look at a full moon, and you have to have a tail to become a Great Ape. But as far as that instant went, when he turned into the Golden and he turned into Super Saiyan 4 and GT, he was on another planet and he looked at the Earth. He didn't look at the moon. He looked at the Earth. And then that happened. That, don't get me wrong, that's, like I said, that's not canon. I don't know how that would work in the normal Dragon Ball universe. It's never really been explored. But, yeah, he didn't look at the moon. He looked at the Earth. They were on another planet. I want to say it was the Tuffle planet. Like they, if I remember correctly, they wished back the old planet Vegeta, which was originally the Tuffle planet. And I think that's where they were, and he looked at Earth. And that's how that happened. Correct me if I'm wrong. Pretty sure I'm not.
Then, as a Golden Great Ape, you would need to master that form and manifest your human-like consciousness to then become Super Saiyan 4.
Also, hold on. if we're going on Super Saiyan 4 Goku from GT, if you look at his biography up there, if you can see it above my picture, yes, powers in flight, ki blasting, Saiyan transformation, Kamehameha, instant transmission, I can get that. But he does not have Ultra Instinct or God Ki possession in GT at all.
Now, after you've done all that, becoming Super Saiyan 4 again would be much easier, but the first time, it's going to take a lot of things going right. So that's the quick origin of both forms. Let's get into the powers and abilities of each form. We'll do Sonic's first, since his is much more clear. The Darkspine Sonic has the abilities of flight, pyrokinesis, fire resistance, increased physical strength and durability, and has access to the time break and speed break. If we use the training mode stage path as a guide, we can calculate that the time break slows down time by 10 times, and the speed break can increase Sonic's speed up to 10 times. We know this because the training track is covered with rows and columns of orbs. In just 1 second, it takes base Sonic's top running speed to collect 102 orbs or 34 rows of orbs. In 1 second of speed break, we calculated Sonic collecting 1020 orbs or 340 rows of orbs. Now, of course, base Sonic can only perform these speed and time breaks with the help of Shara, but Darkspine Sonic can do it all on his own. Darkspine Sonic was also able to defeat Elf Layla Walayla, whom again claimed that he would remake the world and reality in his own image. It is important to know that Darkspine Sonic is not invulnerable, meaning he still can get hurt and take damage. As a trade-off though, he does not burn rings in order to maintain this form like Super Sonic would. So while offensively he is powerful, defensively he can take damage. As for Goku, at this point we all know what a Super Saiyan could do. The debate has always been how powerful can they do what they do. The short answer is that the multiplier of SSJ4 fluctuates from 4,000 base form to 400,000 times base form, or fluctuates from 10 times stronger than an SSJ3 to 10,000 times stronger than Super Saiyan 3. This is because there are 4 grades of Super Saiyan. Yes, the weakest version of SSJ4, or quote-unquote base SSJ4, is only 4,000 times that of base form Goku, the weakest form. But the higher class SSJ4, which is Ultra Full Power Saiyan 4, gets a 100 times boost as its standard attacks are 10 times stronger than a quote-unquote base SSJ4 10x Kamehameha.
Again, there's no real way to tell that because Super Saiyan 4 Goku doesn't really exist. So anything he's talking about right now is completely hypothetical.
So that's 10 times 10 equaling 100. You take that 100 and then multiply it by the 4,000, which gets you to 400,000 or 10,000 times stronger than Super Saiyan 3. And to prove that the scaling makes sense, Ultra SSJ4 easily defeated Omega Shenron, and the quote-unquote base SSJ4 was greatly struggling against Omega Shenron. So clearly SSJ4 has its own multiplier fluctuation, as with all the other Super Saiyan classes. As for the weakness...
Oh, god damn it! That's another one. Goku did not beat Omega Shenron. Gogeta beat Omega Shenron. Well, he didn't destroy him, but he fucked him up. No, Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta both got their asses whooped. Thoroughly.
Of this form, of course it's not infinite, there are limits to it, and Goku is not actually himself in this form. He becomes much more cocky and somewhat cynical. In some ways you could argue that this makes him more dangerous because he will fight dirty, but in reality, if you're a good fighter yourself, you can easily play to his emotions and make his thinking off track, which in returns lower their overall strategy potential.
There's a whole lot of bullshit in that explanation, but
this battle will take place on Earth, and remember, there is no prep time.
Once that circumstance bar has finally loaded, it's time to rewind Rumble.
Alright, see what's going on. Goku also wouldn't just immediately go after someone who was clearly weaker than them in his strongest form. Obviously, if it was just normal Sonic, I'm assuming he would have beat the living shit out of him swiftly. Anyway, I'm being extra, I'm sorry. Sonic's definitely got some hands. Oh yeah, come on, Goku. Snap the fuck out of it. And snapped out of it, he did.
Hopefully you enjoyed that animation, and if you did, super special thanks to Team Animation
for all that
Rewind,
extra
Benjamin
explanation.
Thanks, and enjoy the post-analysis.
And all that extra bullshit explanation about Super Saiyan 4 and GT and what happened there and whatnot. That fight was short as fuck. Whatever, the post-analysis.
Goku beats Sonic yet again, and the only thing I have to say to Sonic is this.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I guess Darkspine Sonic's new name should actually be Snapped Spine Sonic, as it seemed Goku broke his spine into two. But in all seriousness, I have a lot of explaining to do. Sonic vs. Goku debates are just as, if not more dangerous than Mario vs. Sonic or Goku vs. Superman debates. Some people might be wondering, how can someone like Darkspine Sonic, who defeated Elf Layla Walayla, would lose to someone like Super Saiyan 4 Goku? Elf Layla Walayla has claimed that he would remake this world and reality in his own image, and honestly, I believe him.
You what?
I know it sounds crazy, but I do believe that at his best, Elf Layla Walayla will be a universal being. The problem is when he said the statement, not if what he said is true or false, because again, I say it's true. The actual time the statement was made is the crucial point in this debate. He made this statement when he had all 7 world rings in possession, which are prayer, sadness, rage, hatred, joy, pleasure, and wishes. During the time of the statement, Sonic was in base form. Then Sonic's friend Shara temporarily sacrificed herself so she could take as many of Elf Layla Walayla's rings and in return give Sonic those rings. Sonic got the rings of rage, hatred, and sadness to transform into Darkspine Sonic, so both characters only had a fraction of the full potential that is all 7 world rings when they duked it out. And then after the fight, when all of the energy was burned out, Dijin was still alive, so Sonic couldn't really kill an immortal being like Dijin. He only defeated him by wishing him back into his lamp. It is easy to agree that Elf Layla Walayla is a universal threat with all 7 rings, but when you split the rings almost in half, and you consider the fact that no one killed the other person's base body, it becomes harder and harder to believe that Darkspine Sonic is universal. Okay, so what? Just because Darkspine Sonic is not universal doesn't mean he loses to SSJ4 Goku. SSJ4 Goku isn't even universal. With his Ultra form, he was multiplied in the pre-analysis to be 10,000 times stronger than SSJ3, which would make him multi-galaxy plus at best. Both Darkspine Sonic and SSJ4 Goku can be seen as multi-galaxy plus characters, so what this comes down to is speed and skill. It is hard to exactly say how fast Darkspine Sonic is, since the best base Sonic speed feats come from Sonic Generations, but that game didn't come out until 4 years later after Sonic and the Secret of Rings. Without it, the best highball is that we can state that Darkspine Sonic is FTL, assuming meaning that he scales to supersonic during 2007 times. But with his speed break technique, he can reach 10 times FTL, and with time break technique, he can slow his opponents down by 10 times, making his 10 times FTL really feel like 20 times FTL. Now, 20 times the speed of light for Sonic is extremely fast for 2007 standards. Sonic is a super fast character in his own right. The problem is we have seen base Goku do many FTL feats in the past. You can watch all the previous Goku episodes to know about those. And if we have Sand multipliers go all the way to Ultra SSJ4 Goku, his top speed will clock at around 400,000 times the speed of light, which is MFTL+. As for skill, Goku has been in the SSJ form for far longer than Sonic has been in his Darkspine form. Darkspine Sonic only had one boss battle, and the form was never touched with or practiced with ever again. Goku has gone SSJ4 against the battle against Baby Vegeta, has turned SSJ4 in GT Episode 35, Goku's Ascension, in GT Episode 59, during his iconic battle against Omega Shenron, just to name a few. So overall, SSJ4 beats Darkspine Sonic via massive speed blitz and having far more experience with the form, making the winner of this Rumble, Goku. Now for any of you that was
oh my god, this video almost gave me a headache. But, in any event, Goku won. Yay. But again, all that any explanation that he was talking about from GT is completely hypothetical. There's no way to gauge that shit, because it's not canon. I don't even call him Akira anymore. Mr. Toriyama had nothing to do with that. There's no manga to it, so there's no source material. That shit was just made up. Everything about it was made up. Everything he talked about was made up. But in any event, Goku is still Goku and Goku won. So, there we go. So, with that, on to the next time when I have time. So until then, peace.